Hey, what's up guys, Mike here. So today I'm gonna quickly talk about if Sony A7S III and 16-35 f2.8 G Master lens is still the best vlogging setup for YouTube in 2021. So this Sony A7S III came out last year, and it's been almost a year since its release. So I've been using this camera for about 2 months now. I was a Canon user. I switched from the Canon 6D Mark II to this camera, and I can tell you I'm glad that I made the switch. So I want to talk about this topic by bringing up the 3 things I like about this setup and the 3 things I don't really like about this setup. So maybe let's start with the things I don't really like on this setup. So first of all is very obvious price tag. So I live in Melbourne, Australia, and this whole setup cost me around 7,000 AUD. So I think that's around 5,000 ish. Yeah, so it's about $5,000-ish, USD. So it's a quite expensive setup for someone just starting out on YouTube. Even you've been doing YouTube for quite a few years now, this is still a very expensive setup. And the second thing is the heavy setup. So the mirrorless camera is famous for their lightweight body, but if you put on the 16-35 f2.8 G Master lens, it increased the weight of the whole setup dramatically. And especially you're holding a very light body and with a heavy lens, you can really feel the tension on your wrist if you hold that for too long. And it could be a challenge for someone shooting handheld. Yeah, I know, this f2.8 G Master lens can produce amazing, crazy sharp quality of the images, but I think that's just the price we have to sacrifice if we want this kind of quality. But I do hope Sony can solve this problem in the future. So the most ideal situation, I would say, this lens can produce equally good or even better quality of images and have the weight and the size similar to the G Master 24mm or the 14mm even. So that would be the most ideal situation, but I think we still have a long way to go. And if Sony can make something like that, and I guarantee you they will dominate the market. So the third thing I think they can improve on is you couldn't preview the footages in your folder. I just changed to Sony from Canon a few months ago. And in Canon, I was using a 6D Mark II. All the footages you shot on the Canon, you can still preview them. You still have this thumbnail thing in the folder, so you can see what footages is the one that you want and what are not. And also you can just click on the space button and you can preview the whole footage in the folder. Oh, by the way, I'm using a MacBook Pro 16-inch. And it's not something that you can do on the Sony A7S footages. Alright, so regards that, I want to quickly jump into it. So I want to adjust that. So between the 3 modes you can shoot in the Sony A7S III, the HS, S and the SI. In the HS, you can still see the preview, the thumbnail in the folder. So it's not like Canon, you can just press the space button, you can just see the preview of the whole thing, of the whole footage. For the S and SI, there's no way you can even preview or play the footages in the folder. So that's what happened when you purchase this A7S III. Yeah, that's the thing I think I need to address. Alright, back to the video. So please, Sony, if you see this, please give us a software update that can allow us to preview the footages in the folder before we import it into our either Premiere or Final Cut Pro. So they're gonna really be beneficial for the creators. So if you have the same issue, comment down below to let me know. Alright, now so let's get the things that I don't really like out of the way, and now we can talk about the things that I like the most about this camera. So the first thing is the color science. So this camera got the 10-bit 422 in it. So that means more shades of the color in this camera. So more accurate color and more room to edit in the post. So if you want to shoot something cinematic or like a travel or even documentary, and if you want to play around with the color in the post, you got much more room to do so than a 8-bit which is the previous Sony cameras like the Sony A7 III or A7S Mark II. So now I shoot everything in 4K 10-bit. Pretty much everything I'm shooting now, I use 4K 24 frames per second in the 10-bit 422. So this is the best image quality it can produce from this camera, and I want to take the full advantage from it. And the second thing is the zoom lens. It gives you a wide angle on the 16mm, so you can vlogging yourself, talking to the camera. And also if you're shooting 16mm, if I'm getting closer to the camera, you can really feel it's like I'm talking to you who is right next to you, like who is there with you. So that's the advantage of the 16mm. So now I'm still have a big distance from the camera. So usually when I was vlogging, I will keep around like something the distance like that, and you can really see the difference. It's getting very close, and you can see me close up, and you can still see the backgrounds. So this is a very good focal length for someone that want to shoot vlogs or even just sit down and talk like that. So 16" is amazing for that. And also this one can go up to 35mm as well. So the good thing about that is when you go out doing a run and gun shoot like me, you want to shoot some shots by you talking to the camera, by telling the audience how you feel. And sometimes you want to use that 35mm to shoot some cinematic B-roll images as well. And that comes in very handy. Hey, trust me, if you ever use that 35mm 2.8 and with the 120 frames per second in this camera, even with handheld, if you're doing some post stabilization, I can guarantee you the footage will look buttery smooth and amazingly cinematic. So it's like a camera that can do a bit of everything. So the third thing I like about this camera is it can shoot S-Log3 and also S-Cinetone. So if you don't know what is S-Log3 or the S-Cinetone is, so the S-Log3 is pretty much an upgrade from the S-Log2. It produces a flat image, so you can basically see no color or detail in the footage, but it actually contains the most possible detail and the color in the footage. You can use either color grading, or you can just put a lot on top of it to bring all the detail, all the shadow, all the highlights, all the color back to life. That's something that you can use for like a travel cinematic video, or even your everyday vlogging and stuff. So it's very, very good. It can produce amazing quality of image. Also, on the other hand, it can shoot the S-Cinetone as well, which is a picture profile that you can pretty much shoot and import it straight out from the camera. So the good thing about that is if you're doing like a very fast-paced production, and for example, if you do like a daily vlogging and you don't have much time to do the color grading in the post, S-Cinetone will be a great option for you. It produces neutral, nice color. You can just edit straight out of the camera without putting much effort on the color correction or the color grading. And also it's more natural as well. It's a profile that the Sony cinematic camera line uses. Those FX3, FX6, FX9, that's what they use. So I'm glad that they put this picture profile in such a tiny mirrorless camera, the A7S III. Definitely a very helpful picture profile to shoot with if you in a rush. So S-Cinetone, that's a great option for you. So these are the 3 pros and cons that I want to share with you guys for this camera. If you can think of anything that you like or dislike about this camera, so please let me know in the comment section down below. And if you don't shoot in the Sony A7S III, so tell me what setup do you use to shoot YouTube videos, to let me know. So in my opinion, based on the portability, the image quality it can produce from this camera, I think the A7S III with the 16-35 f2.8 G master lens is still the best YouTube setup in 2021. Do you agree? Tell me in the comments. I'm happy to chat with you guys there. If you want to see more tech reviews or more videos about this A7S III, also let me know. And if you like this content, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. It doesn't make me make more money, but it tells me that we did a good job. So I really appreciate you can do that. That's today's video. I hope you stay safe, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace.